When activated, you don't have to keep looking at the memory in EMDR therapy. What guidance do we endlessly give in EMDR therapy? We don't say, keep one eye on the memory and with the other notice what's happening in your right now nervous system. No, we say endlessly to notice that or go with that. We're instructing the client to notice what they just reported to us was generated by the last glance of the memory. Many clients with complex trauma think that they need to put their football helmet on and push into the memory. That's not what we're doing in EMDR therapy. Shapiro describes the channels and the processes of activation like a fork or a comb. We notice our way through each tine or tooth at a time. This is the representation that I like. We activate the client in phase 3. It's kind of thicker line. And then the client notices that is that activation. When the distress is largely digested, we send them back to target, right? It's fine if clients can tolerate playing the memory forward while they're already activated, but can you see why activation might be a problem for people with limited windows of tolerance and limited amounts of right now accessible adaptive information? Activate, and do a little noticing is the wrong pace. It's probably one of the harder ways to do EMDR therapy. There are easier ways to slow this down. Have the client take a bite of the memory. Digest, that activation. Take the next bite. If the client with complex trauma is struggling to do that, you can simply tell them, if you're tapping or receiving bilateral stimulation, I don't want you thinking about the memory right then. I want you to notice deeply what's already activated somewhere in your nervous system. When you run out of things to notice, I'll send you back to the memory. What are our goals when working first with clients with complex trauma? We want to work in ways that are productive and tolerable, and I want the client to resolve the memory in relatively efficient ways. These suggestions that I've just made are constraints, but they can be helpful ones. My point is that clients have options in how they interact with the memory, and some of those options are much more compatible with their limited windows of tolerance. Again, when they get healthier, we remove the guardrails and we promote things going wherever they need to go. Based on everything we already know about clients with complex trauma and everything we know about EMDR therapy, we can assume that a lot of people with complex trauma in EMDR therapy struggle when memory content comes into awareness at a faster rate or at an intensity bigger than their ability to slow down, be present, and notice. Clients don't have to activate the hell out of the memory. They may think they do. Give them options, especially when they're struggling with the rate or the volume of activation.